Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Every year, I run a free Yahoo Fantasy Baseball League with some close family members and friends. And because in terms of fantasy baseball, we are now done with week 1 of the 2021 Major League Baseball regular season, I thought I would take you through my team, who I drafted where, and what my active lineup looks like for week 2. If you guys are ready for this, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I know we're doing something a little bit different on the channel. It's not necessarily baseball news or live coverage, but something I thought you guys would enjoy. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to start by breaking down my draft for this year. I never get a good first round pick. This year, we only have 6 teams in the league. I was the 4th overall selection, and we do a snake draft, so it's 1 to 6 and then 6 to 1. My first overall pick was Jacob deGrom. I figured I might as well go ahead, pick up the best starting pitcher in baseball. Now, with that being said, I probably could have gone Garrett Cole. Very controversial first pick as well, opening up with the starting pitcher when there was Juan Soto still available. I went with deGrom because I wanted a pitcher. Pitching wins you championships. I figured he is the best pitcher in the game. He's going to rack up strikeouts, should pick up wins, but with the New York Mets behind him, I should have known better off the bat. Either way, Jacob deGrom is the head of my rotation. My first round draft pick, he was selected 4th overall. Again, my first pick for the team. My next pick was Freddie Freeman at first base in the National League of the Atlanta Braves, arguably the best first baseman in the game right now, at least offensively. So I thought those were 2 very solid first picks. deGrom 4th, Freddie Freeman 9th overall in the league. I then went with Manny Machado. I like the versatility, the bat that he brings to the table. He played both positions on the left side of the infield. So with my 3rd pick and the 16th overall selection, I did go with Machado of the Padres. Right back to starting pitching. Again, pitching wins you championships in back-to-back rounds. My 4th and 5th selection was Walker Buehler of the Dodgers and Max Scherzer of the Nationals. Scherzer is the ace of the Washington Nationals organization. Walker Buehler, a great pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, right now 3rd in their rotation. But the Dodgers are a team that are going to put up runs and win you games. With Walker Buehler on the mound, I felt comfortable with that pick. So we look at it, 3 of my first 5 picks all went to helping out the starting rotation. We went deGrom, Freeman, Machado, Buehler, and Scherzer. Right before my 6th selection, DJ LeMahieu got drafted, and that's who I was going with. So instead, I take the switch-hitting second baseman Ozzie Albies. I liked this pick. He finally homered for the first time in 2021 against the Phillies on Sunday Night Baseball. But he was off to a very slow start, much like a few other guys offensively that I had, Freddie Freeman being one of them. So I went Ozzie Albies at second base for my 6th pick. That was 33rd overall in the draft. Corey Seeger, I picked 7th, so my left side of the infield was Manny Machado, Corey Seager. Seager, of course, last year really did well at the plate, so I'm hoping that that kind of carries into this season. Marcell Ozuna was my 8th overall selection. I don't love my outfield. I think that is one of my weaker spots on the team. I have Ozuna. We're going to see a little bit later on my other outfield picks. I love the names, and Nick Castellanos, particularly, who we will talk about a little bit later on, that I drafted, he is doing well, but other than that, I could have gone with maybe Judge or JD Martinez, Giancarlo Stanton. Those were all guys available that I could have drafted at some point, but Marcell Ozuna, the first guy I drafted in the outfield with my 8th pick. I then go back to the rotation for Blake Snell, and we look at who I have already: deGrom, Buehler, Scherzer, and now Blake Snell. 4 guys who could be arguably aces on any given team that I have all on my squad. So Blake Snell was my 9th pick. Salvador Perez, I finally picked up a catcher offensively. He really broke out in 2020. He is a top 5 offensive catcher in the game, at least. So I went with Salvador Perez, my only catcher on the team right now, which is something I might have to worry about a little bit later on down the line. But right now, I like that pick. I focused a lot on starting pitching early. My 11th selection and 64th overall draft pick was Kenley Janssen for the Dodgers. Now, this may be a guy I end up dropping as the season progresses, just see how he does. I believe he has a few saves for me. He did lose a game once, though, as well, already in the early start to the season. So Kenley Janssen on the team, he is my first reliever that I drafted. My relief pitching also isn't great, but I did add a few guys after the draft. You go to the 69th pick of the draft, my 12th overall selection, Nick Castellanos in the outfield. That's been a great pick. Even the Cincinnati Reds offense have been heating up to begin 2021. Castellanos, of course, a big power hitter. And then Michael Conforto, I go back-to-back outfield picks, my 12th and 13th selection. Conforto's another guy I like with the New York Mets, does bring a lot to the table offensively. So Ozuna, Castellanos, Conforto, those are my 3 starting outfielders. Last year, I missed out on him, but this year, Nelson Cruz, drafted 81st overall. I'm honestly a little bit surprised he didn't get picked up earlier on. He was my 14th pick. Of course, a utility bat who was off to a great start with the Minnesota Twins. I absolutely love that pick. He can't play first base or any defensive positions other than utility, but I do not mind dishing out 1 of 2 utility spots for Cruz. He's got a great bat. Then I go back to the bullpen. Edwin Diaz, I draft 15th in my personal team draft. Another relief pitcher, Trevor Rosenthal, will be my next pick for the Oakland Athletics. Now, I dropped him pretty much right after the season started. Was put on the 10-day IL, then the 60-day IL, so that pick comes back to bite me. But we stick with the pitching. I go to Hyunjin Ryu of the Toronto Blue Jays, which this is the Toronto Blue Jays ace of the team. 100th overall, 17th selection on my part, but a starting pitcher. He really filled out my 1 to 5 in the rotation very nicely. And these are all guys who I consider to be aces on my team. The first week might not have helped me a whole lot with some of these guys, but I think as the year progresses, my pitching staff is going to absolutely dominate. So now with my last few picks of the draft, 23 picks overall, number 18, I went with Jeff McNeil of the Mets. He's going to hit for high batting average, occasional home run swing, and he could also play second, third, or any outfield spot. So a very versatile player, can play 5 different positions. I can also throw him at utility if or when necessary. Saying guys get off days or someone is injured for a short time. Jeff McNeil, I knew was going to be a good bat to have on the team. So Jeff McNeil was my 18th pick, 105th overall. Then I went with Tay Oscar Hernandez, a guy who really did well with the Blue Jays last season at the plate. He's going to hit for a lot of home runs, and I'm very happy with that to back up Conforto, Ozuna, and Castellanos. Tay Oscar Hernandez right now on the 10-day IL for me, but he is going to be back hopefully very soon. Following Tay Oscar, I went with Didi Gregorius, left-handed stick of the Philadelphia Phillies, another shortstop if necessary, but I already have Corey Seeger as my starting shortstop, and then Manny Machado, who could play both positions on the left side of the infield. Brandon Lau, another pick, much like Jeff McNeil, who I selected 21st overall. First, second, and the outfield. Very versatile. He's going to hit well with the Tampa Bay Rays. He's been their cleanup batter most recently, which is awesome. Another very versatile glove that's going to help out. I can use him very frequently and in multiple different positions. And then my last 2 picks, Julio Urias, who's opening the year as a starting pitcher with the Dodgers, but when he's not a starter, lights things up in the bullpen. This was another great pick, I think, on my end. 129th overall selection, 22nd overall for me. I like this. He picked up the first win of the season out of all my starters. Urias is going to be with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have a great team, one of the favorites in the National League, and just another great piece to add to my pitching staff. And finally, I went with Tommy Pham. I wasn't really sure who to pick 23rd overall. This is the 136th pick of the draft. Tommy Pham is an outfielder, a little quick on his feet. He's going to steal the occasional base. That's something I usually never draft for, and that's stolen bases. Go in with good intentions, like I wanted to draft Whit Merrifield or Adalberto Mondesi, guys who are always up there leading the league in swiped bases. This year I went with Tommy Pham. He's the guy I'm probably going to end up dropping. He's not even really known for stealing bases all that much. He'll probably pick up a handful this season, but he is a bench bat. If I have a few outfielders with the day off, I can throw him in there. Also use him as a utility player. So there is my draft, 23 selections. I really like how I did in the draft this season. On paper, you look at these guys, a lot of big name superstars, especially my pitching staff. I really do like heading into this season and being through the first week of 2021. But looking at my starting lineup, Salvador Perez behind the plate. He's currently the only catcher I have on my team, but that is a great pick for me. I love him starting behind the dish. Freddie Freeman at first, Ozzie Albies second, Manny Machado at third, and Corey Seeger at shortstop. In the outfield, Nick Castellanos, Marcell Ozuna, and Michael Conforto. I also have Nelson Cruz as a utility bat, Jeff McNeil filling in that second utility role. Now on to my bench with guys that I drafted. It's Gregorius, Brandon Lau, Tommy Pham, and Tay Oscar Hernandez. Hernandez currently on the COVID-19 list, so he is not playing, which allowed me to go ahead and add another player to my team. So I went with Byron Buxton, who is off to a crazy hot start here in 2021. He's got some speed, but he has 5 home runs on the year, hitting for high batting average. I'm very happy signing Buxton as a free agent. I think he's a guy who should have been drafted, was overlooked by all 6 teams in the league, and now he's off to a very good start here in 2021. So I have Buxton on my bench. I'm actually probably going to throw him in here for week 2 just right now because I just added him. That's where he immediately went. Buxton, Gregorius, Lau, Pham, Hernandez on my bench. I like it. I think I have a pretty good offensive team. My only weak spot really is going to be my catching depth. I only have Salvador Perez, but other than that, I really like the squad. I did draft a couple of Atlanta Braves who are going to be frequently in my starting lineup. Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna, by the way, off to a crazy slow start. But I have a couple of Braves in here now with Nelson Cruz, Byron Buxton. I have a couple of Twins, a number of Mets bats. Sometimes that'll come back to bite you here, having a lot of guys on the same team, because if they're getting shut out, you have 2, 3, sometimes 4 guys going over on the day. Really hurts the average, of course. Then you're not picking up hits, home runs, RBIs, runs scored. So sometimes that hurts you. I also forgot to mention, I didn't draft a single Yankee, and by no fault of my own, anytime I wanted to draft like a DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Judge, Carlos Stanton, Garrett Cole, they were already gone. I haven't added a Yankee yet. I probably will at some point, but that is my favorite team. Overall, I like my offense. Now let's go ahead and look at my pitching staff through the first week. For my starting pitching staff, Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Hyunjin Ryu, Julio Urias, Blake Snell, and Walker Buehler. 6, in my opinion, very solid starters who might have gotten off to a slow start to begin 2021, but I think they will start to pick things up for me. Again, pitching wins you championships, and I love the top 5 or 6 starters I have currently on the team. Then also in the bullpen relief pitchers, Kenley, Jansen, and Edwin Diaz. Mark Melancon I picked up after Trevor Rosenthal went down on injury. He already has a number of saves to his name on the season, so that I think is going to help me out quite a bit. Kenley Jansen and Edwin Diaz are both known for not necessarily having the best track record coming into the 8th or 9th inning and trying to pick up a save or 2. Hopefully that doesn't hurt me too much, but if they're at the top of their form, Jansen, Diaz, Melancon should all be picking up saves for me, and I should be racking up numbers in that particular category. I like it though. deGrom, Scherzer, Jansen, Diaz, Ryu, Urias, Snell, Melancon, Buehler. I really enjoy my team. Collectively, I'm not off to the best start to begin the year in the league, but I think once the schedule progresses, I have all these bats starting to break out, my starting pitchers and my relievers really begin to look good, and in midseason form, I think I do have a force to be reckoned with. Guys, that's going to end it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of my team and how well you think I'll do here in the 2021 Major League Baseball regular season. Guys, that's going to end it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.